Good, glorious day to you folks. Welcome to my off-grid homestead in the forest, and today I'm here with an equally humble plant, one of my absolute favorites, if you can see, and some of you already can guess. It's a fern. Ferns, oh, I'm a little too close to a ground nesting bird's nest. I'll make this quick. Ferns have been around, I guess I should start from there. For my understanding is anyway, 360 million years. So I'm I'm pretty sure that's longer than the dinosaurs. And they don't have root structures as when we think of them. Think of a plant with a root structure like that. They go straight down, just as you see. Like if I say probably rhizomes is probably more of a more of a proper description. So if you see that stem there, that's the same one. It goes straight down, oh, about a meter. And this one is a common um, fern. My first introduction to it was when my mom had a variety of them, because there's I don't know how many varieties, maybe 1,200 varieties of them across the globe, and I suppose they can be found everywhere except for Antarctica. And some even, or at least one variety, even grows in water, although it doesn't necessarily look like this. It looks more like algae. Anyway, um, digressing a little bit, but ferns. Just like most plants, but in particular, though, when you think about how old they purify air, so they're air purifiers. But more than that, they even take formaldehyde out of the air in case you live in a setting where you have formaldehyde in the air. So I'm just thinking they should have them as one application. They should have them. I'm disturbing a woodpecker too. I see a couple of its holes, three of its nests, and folks, I have to make this video quick so I don't disturb too many things. Um, so yeah, they purify air. They take formaldehyde out of the air, but they also have medicinal qualities. I don't really want to go into that for various reasons, but the way they grow, the way they spread is not because they don't flower. My understanding is that they're more like, let's call them like mushrooms. They have spores, and where you would find them, this is not the time for them. Where you would find the spores is under their leaves. You will find, if you're ever out, I've lived in different places, different provinces, different countries, but I've never actually had the privilege to see ferns in their natural habitat like this until one of the years that I was here in the past 11 years, when by accident I was walking by these beautiful, gorgeous plants, patches. I have a few patches of them, maybe really probably more, but I haven't walked the whole property yet. On the bottom, on the underside of them, you'll see little black dots under each leaf. They'll be almost like covered, but in beautiful, beautiful pattern, just like as you see the pattern on the um, very. For those of you who, like me, who like patterns and look for anomalies, and you see patterns in things, and you would notice how the leaves are almost diagonal, alternating, and each one of the sort of like those were the branches I meant to say, leaves, they correspond. But anyway, um, those spores, through wind, and they choose their time too. And what I mean is they prefer more like a more wet soil, or wet time of the year. So this is not now, because it's right now. It's about, I think it's exactly mid-June. So they wait for maybe in a month or so, but then at that time it's dry. Maybe in I don't know exactly when. I have to look into that. I have to do some research. But they want it to be a time where the plant is mature enough, and they get to be a little bit taller than this. And right now they're about 16, 18 inches tall. And but so the plant has to be mature enough, and then it would form its those black pods that are spores, and then the soil has to be wet enough, so that would be, I mean, I don't know, sometimes you get that in the summertime when we get a particularly wet few days, and then they can release them into the air like poof, and then they land anywhere there's more wet moist soil, and then they can sprout. What else can I tell you about them? When they die, change color. I have one on the ground, but its other leaves are on top of it, and I'm worried that if I make too much a sound, I'll disturb those birds that are about 8 feet away. The bird's nest that are about 8 feet away from me. I'll just be as quiet as I can. Look at this gorgeous color. This is last year's foliage that has fallen. But I will take some pictures in 2-3 months from now when they have died. These green ones have died and turned this. It's a beautiful shade of sort of a light brown bronze kind of color. It's hard to describe. You have to see it. It's unbelievable beauty. It's a work of art. In fact, I think in the Victorian times they had a sort of a, I don't want to say revival, when they appeared all of a sudden in wallpapers, in paintings, in carvings, in patterns for people's clothes. Oh, one thing that I have a picture of, I will look for it in one of my probably spring or summer slideshows, when this particular one I'm talking about. If you know what fiddleheads are, sort of when as they come up the stem, they're round. It's a gorgeous, I mean, nautilus looking kind of pattern. And again, those of you who love patterns and things, and I want to say fractals, it's gorgeous, unbelievable. And then as they unfurl and they become like this. And if you were to pick one of those and hang it upside down from somewhere in your room, it'll just unfurl all the way down. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention: if there's a species, I don't think it's this one, when at the times when, I may be too loud for the birds, at the times of particular dryness, every few years everywhere has a sort of a dry period, or maybe even a drought. So these the ferns start to furl, like um, turn itself in itself all the way, like a rotate into a ball or a disc, to the end, so it can preserve its moisture and not, you know, not to be out and evaporate as much. And then when the rain comes back, whenever it comes back, and then it unfurls and it looks like this again. It's pretty resilient. Like I said, the thing has been around for 360 million years. I mean, I've always loved them. I remember since I was little, I mean, I was fascinated by the fractal nature of it. But when we go to a forest, any forest, not this isn't really a first growth forest, or like a rainforest, or a sequoia, or a red giant redwood. But we always look up at these big majestic trees and say, "Wow, how old are they?" and whatever. But honestly, we should look down. This plant, this humble plant, has been around again for 360 million years. I mean, I think the oldest tree has been around for 5,000 years. Um, anyway, just wanted to share this with you. If you have anything that you can add to this, let me know, because I'm fascinated. And you know, just next time you go out in nature, look down as well as up.